Welcome to Research Logs. What, why, and how. We're going to show you what a research log is, why you need one, and how to use one within the Ancestral Logs Family Collaboration website. So what is a research log? Research logs are also known as a research calendar or your research notes. It's basically when you're researching and you find something, you write down what you found. And the organization of those notes is what's called a research calendar or research log. All your research notes should be in an organized format and not just shoved in a file folder or in a box. Otherwise, what's the use of keeping them? You need to keep track of where you looked for the information that you were seeking and what you found. And it's very good to date your log so you know how long ago you looked in a database, because maybe that database has been updated and you need to search that again. It's important to keep track of what you found. Was that search successful? Was it not? This is all vital so you don't repeat your research. It is very frustrating when you look for information, you copy the census record or whatever it is, and go back to add it to your file folder and realize, oh, I already did that. That was a waste of time. If you keep good research logs and research notes and organize them properly, you can easily find out what you have already done. And then when you come back after leaving the research for the ancestor for a while, you can easily pick up where you left off. So you may have several logs sitting around, many research notes that are disjoined. Maybe they refer to multiple ancestors. Who do I file this with? If there's no organization to your research log, it can look like chaos. And keeping those notes really didn't do a whole lot of good. Ancestral logs helps you organize your notes and file them so they are easily accessible under multiple ancestors that log pertains to. And you can also attach it to the individual facts and sources that log discusses without having to make several copies and file it in multiple places. In ancestral logs, the logs can be organized by the individual ancestor or ancestors that it pertains to, the date that you performed the research, the goal you were trying to achieve, the record type, such as all the birth records, all the marriage records, all the death research, by the researcher performing the work, because remember, we're going to have several different relatives working together, so you want to be able to see what your logs are compared to everybody else's. Can be also organized by what facts or tasks the log and the evidence proves. Perhaps you're only researching cemetery records, and you want to file that cemetery record by the birth and the death because they're both on the gravestone, or a family relationship. You can also file the log by what, of all your logs, which ones still need work done and which are completed. Here's an example of what a research log looks like. It shows your goal. Here's your title. You can title it whatever you want, or your goal, what you're looking for. Down here, you can be more specific on what exactly you're looking for. You can have what your search terms are, list what did you find, where do you look next, and allows you to attach an image of the evidence and put a description of that image. What is there? Over on the right, you will attach the whole log, including the evidence, automatically when you select an ancestor's name and what that document proved. So here it would prove his name, his residence, his population, his marriage, and then same thing for his wife. And it goes, what information did it prove for her? And you can also attach it to all the children too. So let's look at a research log step by step. How to fill out a research log is pretty simple. First, put in the title or what you want the research log to be named. Put in a citation of where you find the information, the URL if you found it online. Type in what you are looking for, such as James Smith with his wife Clarissa and children somewhere in Colorado in 1880. And what I wanted to know was what kids are still living with their parents. Type in your search terms. Sometimes you can have different spellings, and if you didn't look for that spelling the first time, you might want to look for it another time. So I looked for James Smith in Huerfano County, Colorado, and here's what I found. And I entered it. I found James and Claire, which is short for Clarissa, living in St. Clara, Huerfano, Colorado, with their 3 children. And I put in the details, their occupations, birthplaces, parents' birthplaces. On the next column is the transcription. Sometimes you can't make copies in archives, but you need to have evidence, and so you can write a transcription and then click Provide Evidence Link, which means this would count as the evidence as it is a direct transcription. You can also do the same, provide an evidence link if you have the name of a book or the manuscript in an archive. You can type the citation and mark that as the evidence if you have the transcription and the citation. So then you would enter, where do you look next? So here I found them on the 1880 census, but now I want to find them on the 1885 Colorado State Census. Are they still in Colorado? Did Richard or Sally, their children, get married and leave home? If they're not with them, then maybe I want to find out what happened to them. This next one, add to while you're up, is still in development, so you can ignore that part for now. Then you would want to save the log entry, but not before coming up to what the results are. Were you successful or not in your search? In this case, I was successful, so I'm going to click it was positive. You're unsure, you can click unknown. And what is the status? Have I started the research yet? Am I in progress, or is it completed? In this scenario, I have completed it. So I'm going to save my log and then begin linking the evidence to individuals. So once it is saved, there we go. I want to attach evidence to this log. So I'm going to click Add and choose the file. It is on my hard drive. I saved it under my families. Scroll down to Smith. And I saved it in the James A. Smith documents. Here we go, James A. Smith, 1880 census. And then I want a quick description. James and Clarissa Smith in St. Clara, Huerfano, Colorado. 1880 U.S. Census. Sure you put the country in there because not all people know what country you're talking about. And click Attach. This will attach the image to this research log. Here it is. Evidence has been added. To attach individuals to your research log, you come down here at the bottom where it says Attach Individuals. Click that and select the individual from the list. We're going to attach this to Clarissa Tankersley. You need to click Individual. Once she is attached, then you can click her box and you can click, here's the 1880 population census, and attach it. And there it is attached. If I want to attach multiple items to her or to James or to both of them, I can click both boxes. Let's say their marriage. Come up here to marriage and click Attach. And there it attaches them to both at the same time. You'll want to also attach it to all their children. So if we want to attach it to multiple people, we can find there's Sally, attach to her, and we want to find her brother named Richard. I think he's at the top. There's Richard right there. Attach him, and also his brother James, and attach him. So all 5 people are now attached. But we need to make sure everyone's attached in there, and all the information that's included in that 1880 census should be attached to those items. So when you go and look at that individual person, and if I look at 1880 census, it will automatically be attached to all of them. So these 3 still need the 1880 census. 1870, 1880 population, not mortality. So you can do 3 at once, or you can do them individually. And you can do that for the parents' birthplaces. You can do it for occupations. Down here, there's one that says their jobs or their occupation, employment. And you might gotta make sure all of them are going to have an employment. Actually, they're not all, because James and Sally don't have an employment listed, but Clarissa and James A do, so we're going to attach that to them. So it automatically attaches this research log with that evidence and also to all of these individual information sections of these people. So it's like taking the document and making copies and putting it in each person's file folder, but this is easier. So everyone's all done all together. Want to make sure you go up to the top, put the results as positive because we found what we're looking for. The status is now completed. If I needed to come back later, I could put in progress. But this is completed. And then I want to save it. Now here it is. To go back into it, I can click on the entry number, and it is attached to James, Clarissa, Sally, Richard, and James Mitchell. And you can see from here, here's the source citation, the title, explanation of what I was looking for, and here's the evidence has been found. I can click on the evidence to go directly to the evidence that I uploaded, which is an image of the census record, and they are listed right here. There they are. And I can right click on here and save the image to my computer if it's something somebody else uploaded and I want to download it. I can copy it or I can save it. Go back to the other window to go back. And there you go. Ancestry Logs has many aspects to the research process. So we have made the logs accessible from multiple places. So where can you find research logs in the Ancestral Logs program? So the first is when you log in, you'll be taken to the research entry screen, or you can click it here on the left. At the top, there is a tab called Research Log. When you click that, it will bring up an index of the research logs. If over on the right, you can create a new log entry. So you can start there. The second place is if you go back to My Entries, or you can click it here at the top. You will select an individual that you want to do a research about. We're going to select James Smith. Now under James Smith, it brings you to the dashboard, but up here at the top, there is the Research Log tab. You can click that and it will bring you to the index of research logs pertaining to James Smith. Over here on the right, you can click Create Log Entry, which will take you to a new log. Let's go back to the individual screen to find the third place. The third place to find research logs or to enter them would be under the individual or the dashboard tab, you could go either place, and you select a task to do. So here we have 1880. We're going to select that one because we're going to try and find the 1880 census for him. Click on the bottom one. Here we have the research log tab, and it works the same way. You click on research log, and over here on the right, create log entry. When you click create log entry on any of those three screens, it will take you to a blank research log where you can start filling out your information.